I want to share a couple of things with you, and I wanted to call you to come up close. So many of you call me racist and names and all kinds of other stuff. You know it's not true, but it's an easy defense. I have a track record of being a stomp down, sure enough, homeboy in that regard. But I want to say something to you as a pastor here in Harlem, New York City, and with gentrification and the assault by the LGBTQ crowd and by the pinch-nosed Negro, who is essentially a Negro who longs to be white. He may have had the opportunity to have the intelligence to go to Yale or to Harvard or Columbia or Princeton or Duke or someplace else like that. And he acts white. If you see him with a bunch of other students or people from that particular genre, you would think you were looking at a misfit because he acts white. And the reason being, and by that white, I mean Japheth. Allow me to use white for just a second. I want to move transitionally to Japheth and Hamite and Shem at some point where I won't use black or white again, but it's not yet. But he acts because he loathes the idea of being a Hamite or a black man. He sees the white or Jewish race as superior intellectually, socially, economically, and otherwise, and he wants to be that. One of my first problems I got into with the Baptists is when I started preaching as a young boy. And I said, why do all you preachers who get enough money to live comfortably from the congregation move out of Harlem or Bed-Stuy or Fort Greene, and you go out to Long Island or New Jersey, or you go someplace where you're living around Japheth, and that is to say white people? Why do y'all do that? And the reason being is because they want to say that they are living we're the only ones in the white neighborhood. We're almost white. We're almost white. It's what the average, if not 99% of a lot of black people feel. They want to be white, black people do. And one other thing, the thing I want to say to you, and I promise not to inflict myself upon you any further, as I try to help you explain my position with LGBTQ, the pinch-nosed Negro, the Southern Baptist, the racist, the white supremacist, the Tribulation Trump, the white supremacist ideology, and that is this. And I have studied sociology, philosophy, theology, and I've come to this determination through the writings of so many others. And I've watched this over the past 100 years from a historical perspective, going all the way back to the Reconstruction period, that and I'm going to use the term black man. Now, I can say Hamite. I'm going to use the term black man. No black man has ever, since the turn of last century, a century ago, ever risen to any kind of prominence in America without the praise or the help of the Japheth or the white man. Let's go by example. Even with my favorite of all people, one of my most favorite, Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington, Tuskegee Institute, did a great job, but he was funded by Japheth, by white people from the north down in Alabama. Dr. Booker T. Washington and Dr. George Washington Carver, they were, and their integrity was in the right place, but they never you would never know about Booker T. Washington or his visit to the White House had it not been for white people supporting him. Same thing with W.E.B. Du Bois, a Harvard scholar, Harvard graduate, got into Harvard, and was supported by Japheth and Shemite people. There have been some exceptions, but they have not risen to the same prominence. For instance, Marcus Garvey became a great leader, but he was local, and he was finally destroyed because he would not bow down to the Japheth or the Shemite man. What I'm trying to say to you is want to help people who understand, who support what I do, who understand who I am and my dependence only on Almighty God. I want you to understand something, that historically you cannot show me whether it's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. or whether it's Adam Clayton Powell or whether it's Barack Hussein Obama. You can't show me a black man that has made it respectfully in America unless the white man has said to all other white people globally, it's all right to trust this one, promote him, make him the president, make him the leader of a civil rights movement, give him what he wants, give him an audience with Lyndon Johnson, give him an audience with John Kennedy, give him that until the white man says that about any black man, he ain't going nowhere, not in America. He ain't going nowhere. And for instance, take Malcolm X, for instance, or take Marcus Garvey, for instance. They killed him. Well, they killed King too. But let me share something else that you may not have thought about, because I want you to understand something about me. Even Jayz, he's probably one of the biggest names in rap music. He's alleged to be a billionaire and all of that kind of thing. Let me tell you something. And his wife, Beyonce. Let me tell you something, and him or any other rapper or comedian or basketball star or movie star or any of these people in entertainment, let me tell you something about them, even if they play basketball or football or sports. You see what they did to Muhammad Ali. You see in the prime of his life, or what they did to Iron Mike. You see what they did to him. No black man makes it in America. Now, what I want to get to ultimately is I want to show you the racism of the Trump supporter, the white supremacy ideology of the white supporter, and why the white supremacists in the Trump ideology think that they have a sure foundation for being white supremacists and being racist, because no black man has never, ever independently No black man has ever independently made it on his own. Let me tell you something. If Jayz ever started rapping about Goldman Sachs and about Wall Street and about the Shemites that run Wall Street or run the banking industry, or J.P. Morgan, if Jayz or any of the rappers, Puff Daddy or any of them, even Suge Knight, had to bow down to the Japheth man, though he was brutal with his own people on Death Row Records. Jayz right now will be as poor as anybody walking the streets of 125th Street here in Harlem if he ever starts making songs about the corruption of Wall Street. Now, he may say a word here and there, but he better not get down in the weeds. And the same thing with Beyonce. Let me tell you something. I don't care what you think about them as rappers or entertainers or dancers or anything else. The people that control the levers of the entertainment industry, that controls the levels of the music production and promotion and sales and getting on television and getting your stuff out. I've been telling people, my staff, they don't believe me, Facebook, Google, they've been after me for years. They think I just got low numbers. That ain't the case at all. I've been trying to tell them. They don't listen. These people control your life. They think that nobody listens to me, and they all of a sudden 10,000 people all of a sudden just come out of nowhere. No, these people have been controlling my presence for years. Nobody wants to hear it. They don't want to listen. They control who comes to this church. They control the minds of the people that walk outside the church. But let me tell you something. Jayz, what's that boy named LeBron James, or any of them. Let me tell you something. If the white man didn't want LeBron James to be King James, he wouldn't be. I don't care how good he can play basketball. I don't care how good he can play basketball. No black man has made it. The only one that's come anywhere near is Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X. But these rest of these boys, let me tell you something. Dr. King, you wouldn't know nothing about him were it not for the Jewish influence and Catholic money and that was given to him. I'm trying to help y'all understand something. Say, Pastor Manning, do you understand this? I do. And I understand that I don't bow down to none. I don't bow down to Japheth or Shem. I don't do it. I don't sell out. I don't. Let me tell you something. Jay-Z can walk around on a stage with 20,000 people out there and cuss and holler, and Beyonce can grab her, you know what, and shake it all over every place in front of black people and cuss and say all kinds of ugly things. But when that boy goes into the Jewish studio record company and sit down with the president of those records, he's as quiet as a church mouse. He's as polite as a Catholic little boy in catechism. He don't raise no hell inside them. You know, Ray Charles did it. He did it with Atlantic Records. I'll give it to Ray. Ray Charles did raise hell with Atlantic Records. But even he himself sold out later on. He did. Ray Charles did. I'm trying to say something to y'all. I'm trying to say something. I want you to understand something. If you see any black man anywhere that's made it, he's on television, he's respected, well, not respected, but he's got a big name, and white folk are patting him on the head and praising him, whether he's a basketball star or a football star or a movie entertainer like Denzel Washington, one of them. The only reason why he's there is because white people said, let's let this one go. But keep the rest of them, you won't know what, keep them in the ghetto. Keep the rest of them in the ghetto. The only reason why Obama, who ain't even black, who ain't black, made it is because white folks, Goldman Sachs and Wall Street said we can use this one. He's a damn fool. Plus, he's got sexual problems. He don't know which end to use. He don't know whether to use the back end or the front end. We can use him. He can bring confusion. And by the way, you know, they were running around here talking about Pete Buttigieg and black people ain't gonna vote for Pete Buttigieg because he's married to a man. That's a damn lie. That ain't the reason why. Why? Obama's the first one that stepped out on the stage and said same-sex marriage. Obama brought same-sex marriage to the First Baptist Church or to the AME Zion Church there in Columbia, Charleston, South Carolina. Obama is the one that brought same-sex marriage to the black churches. He's the one that started it. So they lied when they said that they want Pete Buttigieg. But Pete Buttigieg is only the product of what Obama said. But these these pigeon-nosed Negroes were lying on Pete Buttigieg. They just didn't want him, that's all. Wasn't because of his sexual preference. They just didn't want him. They want Joe Biden. Oh, Sleepy Joe. Biden my time Joe. Lying, talking about black people ain't gonna go for no same-sex marriage. What the hell wrong with you? Obama's the one that made them all get married, man to man. Anyway, so I want y'all to know what kind of battle I'm up against over here. And I ain't quitting. I ain't bound down to no Jew or Gentile. I ain't bound to none of them. They're gonna take your church and they done turn the people in the neighborhood against you to pinch those Negroes up there talking about you and on and on and on. And they're going to put the politicians on you. Well, let them. Let them. But next time you see Jay-Z, that boy get up there and cuss out. He'll cuss your mama out there on that stage. But I guarantee you, when he sit down and that Jewish man who runs that record industry, that boy is as quiet as a Catholic, a 5-year-old Catholic boy in catechism. You can't get him to utter nothing. Same thing with that witch wife of his. The only thing she may do is grab her crotch. No, Ain't nobody ever made it. You know, W.E.B. Du Bois. He didn't make it. Maya Angelou had to have Bill Clinton pat her on the head. All of them. You name me one. You name me one. And Malcolm messed up when he started talking white. As long as he was talking that Islam, I don't agree with Islam and Nation of Islam and Farrakhan, I'm not Farrakhan, but Muhammad, Elijah, I don't agree with that. But as long as he was talking that, he was okay. That boy left talking that black nation talk and started talking that white Muslim talk. That was the end of him. That was the end of it. No, it's a sad thing. And let me tell you something about us black folk. And the reason why no black man can make it unless a white man pats him on the head and said, we'll let this one through, let this one go. But black folk, Negroes, pensioners, Negroes in particular, especially church members, they don't respect you. They're the white man. And by the way, you know, I was talking the other day about all these these little preachers trying to little preachers run down that church and trying to be like T.D. Jakes, trying to preach like T.D. Jakes, trying to dance like T.D. Jakes, or Joel Osteen. Let me tell you something. TBN, run by Jan and Paul Crouch. I think both of them did, or if not, somebody said they were. TBN made T.D. Jakes. When he left Charleston, West Virginia, left them hills in West Virginia, went down to Texas, poor as Job's turkey, and TBN picked him up, said, we can use this one. Let me tell you another thing about all y'all giving your money to T.D. Jakes. I'll get to Joel Osteen too. T.D. Jakes pays TBN, the Word Network, BET, and a bunch of other, including Tyler Perry, the money, let me tell you something, the money that T.D. Jakes has to spend with those white networks to stay popular and get y'all to come to his church, he could buy a home, a new car, and 10 years of full covered life of health insurance for everybody in Oak Cliff, Dallas. Everybody. That they suck more money out of T.D. Jakes. He gets a few dollars. He get a few dollars. He can get a house, mortgage it, and pay for it maybe. He get a few dollars. But the most of the money that y'all give to T.D. Jakes goes to TBN. It don't go to Jakes. It don't go to the Potter's house. And the same thing with Creflo Dollar, and the same thing with all of them boys on television. These television TBNs suck more money out of the black church, out of the black preacher, out of the black neighborhood than Donald Trump does. I mean, listen, T.D. Jakes gets a few dollars, but he could buy everybody in Oak Cliff down there in Dallas. It's just a sin, a shame. So my thing is this, is that, and somebody laid hands on, I don't know whether it was Kenneth Copeland or, Kenneth Hagin laid hands on Fred Price. Fred Price won't nobody over there in Crenshaw Boulevard, drinking Twister wine and then going up in that pulpit and preaching with all them flowers in front of him. The Kenneth Hagin saw him and laid hands on him one day and said, this is my boy. And all them charismatics and Pentecostals down there in Church of God in Christ down across the South Bible Belt said, Kenneth Hagin, he's our boy. And he started preaching that faith talk. No, let me tell you something. And I got to read. We said, Pastor, why are you telling us? Because I want to tell you why. I want to tell you why the white supremacist that supports Trump want to make the white man God again. That's where I'm trying to get to. It's taking me 20 minutes to get here. But the white supremacist that supports Tribulation Trump wants to make the white man God again. That's right. God don't make no black preacher. God didn't make T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, Eddie Long, or none of them. The white man made them. God didn't make Kenneth, Fred Price, or any of these others. They're massive mega churches. God didn't make them. The white man made them. White man made Jayz. Let me tell you something. Michael Jordan said it best. There are a whole lot of black people, and I say Hamites, I don't want to get there. There are a whole lot of Hamite people that can play basketball probably better than Michael Jordan and better than that double-jointed LeBron James. He ain't got no, as far as I'm concerned, he ain't got no moves. I think that boy, what's his name, said that LeBron ain't got no moves. Put Magic Johnson on Kenneth, that LeBron James, and they make like he got two left feet. Magic Johnson a dance off. Bob Cousy, well they did that boy. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar will put a hook on Kenneth and by the way, you see what they did to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? He tried to change his name. He was called Lou Alcindor. He came out of Harlem right up here on 145th Street. Lou Alcindor, right? Changed his name to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They stomped him, cut him off. You ain't seen him in no commercial now. Like you see that big, stupid, whale-looking idiot called, what's that fella name? Shaq. A sellout. Shaq. You don't see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar making no commercials for the white man. No, they ain't, because he changed his name. Same thing they did to Cassius Clay. Mike Tyson. Hey, now let me tell you something. I'm going to tell y'all something. I'll put y'all something. The white man want to be God again. That's why he supports Trump. But there ain't no black. You see a black man on television, right? That Don Lemon, he on that television. He must be giving somebody something. Some white man must be liking it. Same thing with that. There's a woman on television, I forget her name now. Joy Reid. Lord have mercy. She must be tight with that woman, Rachel Maddow. You know, I'm trying to tell you, say, Pastor man, you putting the black man. I ain't putting nobody down. I'm telling you the truth. You can call it what you want after I tell you, but I'm telling you, there ain't no black man, you don't know one today who's making it without the white man patting them on the head and saying, okay, you can go. And the white man don't like you, you ain't going nowhere in America. I don't give a damn how good you are, how smart you are, how good you can fight, run up and down, play basketball, sing and do anything. You ain't going nowhere till the white man says, let him go, let that one through. Let Jayz through, let Puff Daddy through. We'll make everybody think he's a damn good businessman selling perfume, cologne, and clothes. We'll make everybody think he's good. Spike Lee, same thing. But let me tell you something. You let Jayz start talking about Goldman Sachs. You let him start rapping about how the wealth is getting richer and ripping off poor black people and causing black people to suffer. And you let him start talking about that. That boy wouldn't be able to sell a record to his mama. She won't even support him. No, So it's important that we say this, right? Because we can talk. You can listen to me. I'm Pastor Man. We can talk. So here I am, right? I don't bow down to none of these people. And they done turn all the pensioners, Negroes against me up here in Harlem, right? Every place else across the America, even over here in Africa, turn them against me, right? All the churches, the little sissified churches. I say, sick as hell. You go in these churches and all these preachers trying to be Joel Osteen. Trying to be, this is my Bible, sit the hell down. And then the others up in the TD, get ready. Damn. All of them trying to be something that they're not. The Lord called you, be who you are. To your own self, be true. So, Pastor Man, you say, well, that's what you might ask, call me that. All right, I'll answer to that one. This is a bit of a news blog we do, looking at spiritual wickedness in high places for the most part, making some observations about it and giving people a biblical foundation to the way of interpreting, rather than have Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham or Janine Pirro or Anderson Cooper or Rachel Maddow or Don Lemon, Rush Limbaugh interpret what's going on in the world. You come to me and I'll tell you based on what the Word of God says. They'll just give you their worldly, sinful view. But the Manning Report will tell you what God has said, whether to say yea or nay, whether to go or to stay. You'll be led by the word of Almighty God. Come to the Manning Report on a daily basis to interpret the spiritual wickedness in high places, because there's plenty of it that's going on. And so I'm the Lord's servant, James David Righteous Rebel Manning, and I'm here to serve you with news and information.